Kirby can solo Goku? Kirby is multi-universal. Kirby is the reincarnation of the god of destruction? Hold on, Kirby? Are we talking about the same character here? No, this little pink squish ball right here, this bottom tier E-rated game character, Kirby? That's impossible, just look at him. Look at this gameplay. Are you really gonna sit there and tell me that Kirby can solo Goku? Kirby resides on planet Popstar, a star-shaped planet that abides by all the laws of physics, where he spends most of his days eating, napping, casually parting the ocean, and punching planets in half like it's another Tuesday afternoon. Listen, we all know Kirby. Whether you've played his games or played him in Smash, we all know who he is, and there's no way he's multi-universal. But when we dive deeper into Kirby's canonical lore, we see that there's a lot more than meets the eye, and how much Kirby is truly hiding. And there's a lot. Let's start with his feats of physical strength. Now, remember how I just mentioned how Kirby can just casually punch through planets? Well, I wasn't lying. In Kirby Superstar, he was in the Megaton Punch competition, where he was attempting to break some bricks. Alright, so what? So he could break some rocks. Who cares?
I want to apologize.
That's right, with just a single strike, Kirby was able to split his entire planet in half. And from the size of that line, the crack had to be miles in width, probably killing thousands in the process. But hey, he won. And while the specific size of Planet Popstar is never given, it's known that Planet Popstar is around the same size of Shiverstar, which is a post-apocalyptic version of Earth. But that's hardly even the tip of the iceberg. In Kirby Superstar, Kirby was able to destroy Nova. Nova being around Saturn-sized, being made of metal, weighing 22.22 times as much as Jupiter. You know, the big one, which according to an online calc required a force of 2 times 10 to the 36th joules of energy, which is impressive, yes. But you see, this isn't Kirby punching Nova, it's actually Kirby hitting someone else into Nova, displaying an even more terrifying feat of power. You see, the Jester Marks told Kirby that he needed his help to summon Nova, a wish-granting machine so that he could get the Sun and Moon to stop fighting. However, it was a trick. Marks was actually the one who caused the Sun and Moon to fight in the first place, and was using Kirby so that he could use Nova's ability to become extremely powerful. So, screw Marks, he probably created Marxism. And now Marks is extremely powerful, but I mean, if you've been paying any attention to this video so far, it's Kirby, the pink ball of mass destruction. After Marks turns into his wish-granted super form, Kirby beats him, and then punches him at a speed that crossed the entirety of the galaxy in 4 seconds to blow up the entirety of Nova. Assuming Marks weighed 1.2 kilograms, this comes out to be about 750 petafo of TNT, the power of roughly 750 quadrillion supernovae at once, which would technically make him a multi-solar system level plus. However, that is debatable, considering that the source I pulled this from calc this assuming the distance of how far Kirby actually punched Marks. But even if you were to lowball this, the feat is no lower than at the very least large star level, if not way higher. But that's not all of his feats of pure strength. In Kirby Star Allies, he hits a meteor 9,999 light years away in just 20 seconds, while going through planets, and it was still going. It had to be stopped before Kirby committed any more genocide. He hit this thing at about 500 light years per second, and according to an online calc, the force to do this alone is 48.93 tenaterafo, which I don't even know if I'm saying that right because I'm pretty sure it's a made-up word specifically to calculate the force of this hit. This essentially, from this calc, makes Kirby's hit multi-galaxy level plus. But that's only a few feats. I've gathered an entire list of insane physical feats, but only chose a few highlights. But some of the ones I left out are just stupid, like Kirby chopping a volcano in half, hitting the Moses and splitting the sea as Tornado Kirby, killing a planet-sized Nova with a frickin' broom, and in terms of straight lifting, he is stronger than Stardream. who is as big as Nova and can lift his own body weight, which is 46.5 septillion tons, 7,750 times the weight of the Earth, and he's stronger than DDD, who's carried 5,000 stars. And on top of all of that, it's stated that his power is infinite. However, because it's so vague, this can mean a lot of things. Most likely, this infinite power doesn't mean that he could just blow up everything with ease. Rather, it means that his magical and physical supply of power is infinite. So he has infinite power to draw from, but that doesn't mean he can use it to wipe out everything at once. Because if he could, then there just wouldn't even be a fight. But even after all of that, we still haven't even gone over his most impressive accolades, which we'll discuss towards the end of the video. First though, we must discuss Kirby's abilities and how he can even actually stand a chance against these multiversal titans. Usain Bolt's Prugly, me running to the toilet after Chipotle, nothing. To put it simply, he's as fast as he is strong, if not even more so, reaching speeds that make the speed of light look like a snail's pace. Kirby has two speeds, with and without his warp star. However, it's hard to determine how fast he really is on foot. And while he's significantly slower without his warp star, that doesn't mean he's even close to slow. He can travel between planets in seconds, as well as run away from a black hole, which easily puts him above light speed. The only question being how he can run so fast without even having legs. Just two extremely large, toeless feet. Now, with the warp star, he goes crazy fast, like at least faster than 60 miles an hour, if not maybe more. The warp star has kept up with Magolor, the Lore Starcutter, and Darkmind, all who could cross universe-sized dimensions in seconds. The warp star scales above the Lore Starcutter, which crossed a dimension of 22 universes in about 9 seconds, putting its speed at a minimum of 7 quintillion times the speed of light. He's flown across the universe to another dimension in 3 seconds, across a different dimension in about 16 seconds, and essentially what I'm trying to say is that the warp star is insanely fast, being able to cross universes and dimensions in seconds, making the speed of light seem slow by comparison. Yes, I know, it's Kirby, the pink little squish ball, and while he may not look like it, his durability is crazy. In terms of planet-level durability feats, he survived a beam from the planet buster Galactonite, as well as being unharmed when Nightmare blew up, even while being in the middle of a planet-level explosion. But it goes way more intense than just planet-level, being able to even tank black holes. And when Dark Nebula awakened, he destroyed a galaxy just by awakening, which would take the power equivalent of 14.17 sextillion supernovas. However, this feat is debatable, as some people will say that he didn't actually destroy the galaxy. Rather, he simply altered it, or simply warped space. So it's hard to consider this a concrete feat of durability, but hey, he still won. And best of all, he did it just because they thought they stole his cake. Kirby's also survived Dracia's deletion wave, which is just supposed to erase you from existence, so Hack's one-shot erasing moves won't even work on him. He's even survived reality warps, he's immune to brainwashing, and even if he somehow gets destroyed, he could just come back to life. He can self-regenerate himself, or go into ghost form if he has the ability available, pretty much making him absolutely unkillable. The Suck. Oh boy, the Suck. Allowing him to inhale objects in the endless void that is his stomach. No, seriously, he has an entire Pocky universe within his own stomach, which allows him to inhale an almost infinite amount of things, like Lizzo at a buffet. Well, okay, not infinite, technically around 3 entire galaxies worth of mass, which is a lot. However, his inhale is limited, only being able to inhale medium-sized objects and only being able to inhale larger objects with his super inhale, leaving him breathless for a short period of time. Even with that limitation to the power, his inhale is extremely potent, being able to inhale any projectile and fire it back at its target with the same intensity. And through his hypernova ability, he can dramatically increase his inhale power, becoming a black hole, inhaling everything within radius. But the Suck can do so much more. most notably allowing him to inhale food items and copy abilities. And there's a lot of these, so I'm just gonna go over the most formidable abilities. Also, according to Kirby Squeak Squad, he can even store abilities in food items to use for the right moment, including the Deflector, brushing off all of attacks, Invisibility, making him invisible and intangible, Metal, making him invincible, and Maxim Tomato, restoring all health. Copy abilities allow him to copy his opponent's abilities, obviously. Even being able to save copy abilities inside of himself for the right moment. Some of the most notable ones include Ghost Kirby, who has Immortality type 7 and can possess others, negating others' durability. Crash Kirby can create a supernova. You know, the thing that happens when our sun goes bye-bye and our solar system goes skadoosh. Fighter Kirby makes him the strongest fighter in the universe, giving him the ultimate fighting capability. Mirror Kirby, who can duplicate himself and deflect enemy attacks. And so many more that we would need an entire another video just to cover copy abilities. So that's it? No. He has Star Warrior Sense, something all Star Warriors have, similar to Ultra Instinct, but I wouldn't go that far, rather it being more similar to Spidey Sense over anything, essentially letting Kirby fight entirely on instinct. Lets Kirby know where an attack is coming from, can sense people on other planets, and it even works while he's asleep, allowing him to fight on instinct while napping. Imagine getting destroyed by a guy who's not even conscious. On top of that, he also has Star Power, which is essentially pure good magic. Like I mentioned earlier, he has an infinite supply of it and uses it for all of his magical abilities, including his copy ability. On top of that, he can also shoot out an overwhelming amount of energy as a beam that repeatedly overpowered Void Terminas, making this beam debatably planet level, if not way stronger. So yes, his abilities are kinda broken, but we're still not done. Finally, his weapons. His Star One, which he can create when Kirby eats his Warp Star, has the power to do insane damage, taking out enemies like Nightmare and destroyed part of the moon. And for the last few weapons, these all come from Team Clash Deluxe, and their powers are being scaled off of their description. So while this does make it canon, I think, these descriptions could be over-exaggerating, so take these with a grain of salt. The Platinum Hero Sword, the strongest sword ever forged, being able to cut through anything. The Platinum Lord Hammer, the strongest hammer ever forged and can crack planets. The Platinum Mage Staff, which can freeze time. The Platinum Hero Helm, which is invulnerable to harm. And the Platinum Doctor allows him to dodge any attack. So either these weapons and armor pieces are just the strongest things ever created, which could be true, or the description is simply exaggerating their power for dramatic effects. And wow, that was a lot. His strength, speed, and durability are nuts, and his ability and weapons just put him over the edge by so much. But it makes sense. A lot is needed if you're gonna go toe-to-toe against these multi-galaxy level plus opponents. Which leads us to the most important part of this video, Kirby's opponents. Who he was able to beat and just how strong were they? Not as strong as our boy right here, I'll tell you that. At the lower end, which I'm putting in quotes since his worst feats I'm going to mention are against opponents that are planet level, if not higher. Galactonite is considered the galaxy's strongest and most feared warrior, who originated from a forgotten past. At times he's been released from his seal and went berserk, causing immeasurable damage. He was even confirmed to be a planet buster by Supercomputer, so at the very least, he's at least a planet buster, if not debatably a lot higher. Some even argue him being multi-galaxy level. However, Kirby has beaten Galactonite a multitude of times, making Galactonite look like a Waddle Dee rather than this intergalactical threat. In Kirby's Dreamland, Magolor tricked Kirby and his friends to help him rebuild his ship, the Lore Starcutter, and even helped him obtain the Master Crown, giving him the power to threaten the universe, and was stated to have limitless power. But what would you know, Kirby was able to defeat him. In fact, Magolor was so powerful that his death alone destroyed an entire dimension, which many will claim is not a good reference of power because it was only activated at his death. However, what caused the dimension to be destroyed was Master Crown's power being released. So this limitless power being released could be able to be used by Magolor. He's also beaten Stardream's Soul in all of his forms, who is created with extreme power, being listed at multi-solar system level in terms of attack potency. Being able to lift his own body weight, as we mentioned before, being 46.5 septillion tons, and can move around galaxies like it was nothing. Beating him makes Kirby at the very least multi-solar system level, if not even higher. And finally, one of the most notable, if not the most notable feat, his fight against Void Termina, who eons ago was sealed away by 4 powerful warriors. Eons later, there was a race that emerged, known as the Ancients, an extremely powerful group of beings that created some of the universe's most powerful technology, such as Nova, the wish-granting machine. Within this race were 2 factions, the one that were scientific-based and the ones that were magic-based. Highness, a kind magical ancient, lived in peace, and was considerably kind-hearted, even saving 3 girls, one that was freezing to death, one that was burning alive, and one that was almost dead from a failed suicide from trying to end her own life from a lightning bolt, which is obviously the coolest and most optimal way to go out. Anyways, afterwards, the 3 girls unlocked their true powers after Highness saved them. But out of fear of the magical ancient's power, the scientific ancients betrayed them and banished them to the edge of the universe. When Highness finally broke out, his anger twisted him, sending him and the girls on the path to darkness, attempting to revive what was sealed away eons ago. And through the usage of negative energy and the sacrifice of the 3 girls and himself, he was able to revive Void Termina, an absolute monster that was threatening the multiverse, described as the origin and ancestor of all chaos and possibilities. Void Termina even being alluded to being Kirby, just a twisted, corrupted, evil version of Kirby. A Kirby that was born out of pure evil energy instead of good. However, even with all of his power, Kirby was able to overpower a multitude of his attack beams, and eventually being able to defeat him after like 19 phases, setting Kirby at a level of power that his universe has never seen. So how strong really is Kirby in lore? Well, to put it simply, extremely powerful. There's just so much lore and information that surrounds Kirby from his 30 game appearances. And it's really cool to see an innocent little puffball actually being this absolute monster with crazy fighting capabilities. In terms of scaling, I'd say that he's at least solar system level, if not debatably way higher at multi-galaxy or even debatably universal plus. I'm not saying that he is, but I'm saying that there is an argument for it. Whether or not he can defeat Goku, Superman, or Knack, it's really hard to say, especially since comparing characters from different series poses a lot of challenges. However, I've done entire days worth of research into Kirby's lore, and I think I've provided enough information for you to determine that yourself. And you can always come back and scroll around to reference this video if anyone ever thinks that Kirby is weak. Here, fun game, put some money on it and debate your friend whether or not Kirby can beat some mid-level character. Listen to his debate, be like, yeah, and then just be like, you're wrong. And then just reference this video to absolutely demolish him or her. Anyways, before I end this video, I want to make it clear that I'm not a Kirby expert or a mathematician. And if there's anything in this video that I might have gotten wrong, please correct me. I'm not going to sit here and think I'm all-knowing in terms of Kirby and math. So just let me know in the comments. Make sure to be nice in there though. And as always, thanks for sticking till the end. Sorry this video took so long to come out. I know it's been almost an entire month, but it just took that long to create this video, so I do hope you enjoyed. However, what I wasn't expecting during that time was to hit 10k, which is absolutely crazy, and I'm just so thankful to everyone who's supporting me thus far. Whether you've been watching for months, just came through, or are in my Discord, I love seeing you guys here, so thank you, really, thank you. I'm actually not really sure what I'm gonna do for 10k. This is kinda like a 10k special, considering how I'm not gonna do a video this long for a while, but just let me know if you have any ideas in the comments. Maybe I'll do a Q&A or something. If you want that though, just drop some questions you have, so in case I do one. But with that, I seriously do hope you liked this video, and if you did, then drop a like and sub, so hopefully I will see you here next time. See ya!